Yeah, students, good morning all. Yeah, once again, very good morning to all. In the last session, we have done with filter concepts. So, what do you mean by filter and how the filter will work out and how we need to create our filter using different interfaces, using different methods. This the thing we have done in my last session. This is what we have. I think we have gone through an example program also how we need to use our filter, right? So this is what the three interfaces we are having to make your filter. So one filter is to define, and that is one interface is to what I can say use the your basic methods which we are using for initialization and filtration. One method and one method is to destroy. And second method is a filter chain interface to maintain a chain where we are going to maintain this chain in your web.xml. You are giving the mapping of your chain one by one so that it depends upon the chaining process. One by one filter will be executed. Then your response will get back to your client request. And coming into number three, to know about the individual filter information, configuration information, you need to use your third interface, which we call filter config. That is to maintain this filter configuration. One second, what I need to maintain? I need to have the four different methods under your filter config. That is init method. Once again, only once it is initialized, as I told, initialization purpose to know to initialize your config information. We are using this, and whatever the parameter value we are using to know that parameter value for a specified parameter name, then you are going to use your second method. If you want to make animation blending of all parameters, then you are using your third. And last and final is to get your filter context. What is the object of your filter context we are using to know it? We are going to use this method. And I just made it one example program also how your filters are going to be used. So I used in my example three filters, and one by one filter will be overcome to get back to your servlet, and these filters are going to be executed. One filter is giving in process, then it is moving to a servlet. Finally, servlet be executed. Then once again through that filter, you are going to get a post processing to get as an output. This is what we have done in my last session. So for today's session, we are going to see one more important concept, which we call it as session tracking in servlet. So what do you mean by session? As I told yesterday only, session means it's at the interval of time. So it is having some interval of time means the 1 hour class can be divided into two sessions like 30, 30. What is 30, 30 there? It's an interval of time where we are maintaining. But as how many sessions we had, and how many sessions we had, and who is accessing that particular session, at what time that particular person entered into my session. So to know that about the information about it, we need to maintain some log type thing, or we need to maintain a type of information about the user who is trying to access your session. So to maintain that one, we need to maintain a tracking of every session where we are trying to connect. So that tracking is called as what? Session tracking. So session tracking is what? To maintain your state of an user, or I can say data about user. And it is also be known as session management. So it is also known as what? A session management. Now, why I need to maintain session management? That is a one more concept we need to know. Because every time when a client makes a request to your web browser, as you know, that request can be in the form of protocol, with the help of your protocol, that is your HTTP protocol we are using to redirect your request from client server machine. But what happened here, as you know, HTTP is what type of protocol? It is a stateless, means it doesn't maintain any information, or it doesn't maintain any data about the user who has trying to make a request to the server. Means there is no session tracking information we had when I use my HTTP protocol. So for this reason, we need to maintain the state of information. What is the purpose of the state of information? To just simply recognize the user, the particular user. Is that user is making one-time request, or is that user is maintaining 100-time request? I need to know some information about it. So I need to use a session tracking method. So that is the main reason. It is the main reason I am saying to recognize the user. It is to recognize a particular user. I need to maintain my session tracking or session management in my server. So to maintain this session tracking or session management, we had 4 techniques and in use. That is, number 1 is cookies, and number 2 is hidden form field, number 3 is URL rewriting, and number 4 is HTTP session. 4 methods which I have given, or 4 techniques which I have defined. These 4 are using for what purpose? Track of your session only, but with the different interfaces, different methods, different techniques they will follow. But they had one session tracking mechanism will store at client machine, one session mechanism will store at server machine, and how I need to use these cookies, or how I need to rewrite my URL, everything we are going to see right now in detail, right? So first come to my mechanism number 1, or technique number 1. What is my technique number 1? Is cookies. So what is cookies? So first, before going to make a definition of cookie, if I try to observe as a client in the form of a browser is making a request to the server, right? So once the client has made a request to the browser, so what is the second step? To that response will be generated by your web browser, and that response will be sent to your client machine, right? Along with the cookie. Whenever next time the same user is trying to make a request to that particular web server, then he is going to make a request along with its cookie. Means cookie is already stored in your browser, right? Cookie is already stored at what side? A client side. That cookie will be done with the help of request. Previously, step 1 is only request. Now in the step 2, you are getting some information back from your server, and same user is going for one more request, then he is going to maintain that request along with your cookie. Now what I just understand is, first point, the cookie is nothing but, I don't know what it is, but I had a clarity that these cookies are stored from which side? From client side. That is clear. Because the server is giving some information to client using your browser, so that I can just have a clarity that it can be stored in your browser machine only. That is what we had a clarity, right? So now how I can define? How I can define? A cookie is a small piece of information, right? Cookie is what? A small piece of information that is persisted between the multiple client requests. So one client request, second time request, third time request, fourth time request, every request is what is going to be persistent, and it's going to be maintained with your client request. So that what I can just add a definition of my cookie, right? So why I need to maintain here is the reason I told already, as the user should have his own identity, and what data of user is maintaining, or the information about the user as we need to maintain, we are using the cookie. And what the cookie has, cookie when as returned by your web server to the client browser, so cookie has its name and a single value and optional attributes. Optional, they are not mandatory. I'm saying these two are optional, these two are mandatory. What is that? Name of your cookie and its identity. It's nothing but it's a value is going to maintain unique value, and some of the optional attributes along with these two we are going to maintain, such as if you want you can make as a comment, and you can make as a path, and what are the domains, and what is the age of the cookie. Age is nothing but what, and version number. Age is nothing but what, the time period. So how much time period it can be called as expiry date, or I can say at what time it is created, and etc. I will show you, right? So these are the things is going to maintain by your cookie. By default, remember, by default, each request is considered as what? New request. What is the reason is, HTTP is what type of server? Once again, I'm trying to give. It is my stateless server. So I need to maintain each request as new request. One more thing is, when a cookie is storing in the browser or cookie is stored in the client machine, it can be done with the what? It can be done with the help of response from your server, and that response will add your cookie. So in cookie technique, we add cookie with what? Response from the servlet, because servlet will be executed over your server machine, right? You know it, right? So whenever you are executing your servlet over your server machine, server will get back, or it gives back some cookie along with your what object? Your response object. So finally, what we had a conclusion that cookie is stored in the browser of client machine, where it's going to maintain one storage, and what is that storage is called? A cache. A cache storage will be maintained, and in that cache storage, your cookie will be stored, right? Once you received a response from your browser, next time the user want to make a request, the same user want to make a request, new request to the server, if he send along with his cookie, that request is added with the cookie, then easily the web browser can identify that, okay, this person is not a new user and he is a old user. You can just have a clarity about it. So he easily recognize the user as old user. This is what we had some introduction about cookie. What is cookie? What the cookie will maintain, and where it going to be stored. Now coming into types of cookies. Actually, we had two types of cookies. One is non-persistent cookie, and other one is persistent cookie. So what is a non-persistent and what is a persistence, right? So only two differences are there. I can make it between non-persistent and persistent. Just you can find out single and multiple. That is the one difference I can found. It is removed, it doesn't remove, or it is not removed. Only that two things I had it. But what is these two things, sir? So what I can say, it is valid for only a single session. Means if you make a single request to the user, right, then it going to be get back your cookie, right? And it is valid for that session. It is valid for only for that session. It's a single session, what I'm saying. And it is removed each time when a user closes the browser. Suppose I made a request and I received a cookie back as a response from the server, and it is stored in my cache of my web browser. When I suppose I thought my request is completed, if I simply close my browser, then automatically what happens? You're going to remove your cookie from your cache. If this situation raises, then I can say that cookie is what? Not persistent. And coming to my second, as a persistent, I'm clearly saying it is valid for multiple sessions. Valid for what? Not a single session here, for multiple session, more than one session, it is valid. And what is one more here? It is not removed each time when user closes the. Previously, what happens if the browser is closed? Automatically, cookie will be removed. But here, if you close the browser, then also it will not be removed your cookie. But when you are going to make your cookie as a remote, when you just log out from your session or sign out from your session, at that time, that has been removed. So what is the difference here is, if you take your example as your Gmail account, or it may be your Facebook account, or it may be your WhatsApp, any application, you can take it down. You just try to log in that particular using your login and password, then automatically what happens? Your session starts. And then whenever you are simply closing it, either it may be Gmail without sign out and without log out, if you try to close that browser, your cookie will be stored as it is. But when you just make a sign out or log out from your Gmail account, then only your cookie will be removed. So that type of cookies is known as persistent cookies. Hope you understand the difference between persistent and non-persistent. And coming into what is the advantage if you maintain these cookies, sir? So it is main advantage I had it is one of the simplest technique to maintain the user data, right? And cookies are maintained from which side? From the client side. So there is no issues if it is maintaining server side. Once again, we need to write some other form to make your cookie accessible, to find out what is my cookie name. I need to everything I need to build as a one more separate for me. But as it is, it's storing at the client side, then there is no problem. And one more thing is, it's one of the easiest method to maintain your cookies. And as I had advantage, defaultly I'm going to have some, as I'm having advantage, defaultly I'm going to have some disadvantage. So what is the disadvantage is, it will not work if the cookie is disabled. So we are having the option called allow and disable. If you just try to open your browser, I will show it. If you provide an option called disable, then it cannot be work. And as it is providing a textual information or text information and can be sent in cookie object, only textual information can be sent in cookie object. So as it is a text information, sometimes there is a chance of that. There is a chance of what? Making a modification as it is text information. So easily we can do things wrongly, or we can make misuse of my cookies also. This is what the two drawbacks as I want having with my cookies. I had an advantage, I had disadvantage. But whenever you want to make your cookie, or whenever you want to construct a cookie, what are the methods I need to use? Whenever I want to make of your what is the cookie name, or I need to remove the cookie name and I need to make my existing cookie, is it possible or not, or I need to change my value for the cookie which you assigned, everything I want to make it. So it can be done with the help of some methods or some techniques we had. But what is the techniques and what is the methods we had is, before going to that methods, first this cookie class, right? The cookie class, which is a class name, as we are maintaining to provide our functionalities, is Java X. You know, it is a server side with my servlet where we are executing and using my protocol called HTTP, and dot cookie is my class. So it provides the functionalities of cookies, of using cookies. And this cookies is providing different methods, that is useful methods, not simply the unknown methods. It provides some useful methods for the cookies. And suppose if you want to construct a cookie, right? So I need to call a constructor. I think you know what is a constructor. Constructor is nothing but it is also be same as my class, or maintaining same as my class name, and used for different purposes. So here I am saying cookie is what? A class. So that class name is same as my method name. It's a constructor. And here any parameters I had inside my constructor? No parameters. So what is this type of constructor is called? Is a default constructor. So a constructor called cookie with empty parentheses or empty parameters. It's simple. We want to construct a cookie with specific name and specific value. So name is some name you have given as username, and value you passed that username is Marwadi. Just example you make it. So I want to generate the two with my name and value. I need to pass two parameters, which you call as what? Parameterized constructor, maintaining two values, two parameters with string data type, and one is used to specify name and one is used to specify its value. So like this we can construct our cookie, or we can generate our cookies. Next, after construction of your cookies, as I told, there are some optional attributes I can pass to my cookie. What is an optional attributes I can pass to cookie? I can make I can set my cookie age. Age is nothing but, as I told, sometime slot you're giving, time period, or some time slot you're allocating. I can call anyways, right? So when you make this, or when you want to make this, then you are going to use a method called public void set max age. So in the parentheses, you are making your expiry date of your cookie with your data type called integer, and that cookie is in what? Expiry will be in the format of what? In format of seconds. So it's a maximum age of cookie. It sets the maximum age of cookie in second, right? Next, second one, public string get name. So what is public string get name? It returns the name of the cookie, and remember, the name cannot be changed after the creation. Don't say after the creation. I can say that the name cannot be changed after the creation and once the session has been started. But once you have given name for your cookie, session is not yet started, then it is possible to modify your name of your cookie. That we can do it. That I can show in the next method. And after that, I want to get what is the value of your cookie you want to know. So for that, we are using the function called public string get value, and it returns the value for your cookie. As just now I told, once the name is allotted to cookie, but session is not yet started, you want to change your name of the cookie. Is it possible? Yes, I can change. Not only name, I can change my value also. So that also be done with a function name called public void set name. So immediately what happens here? it changes the name of your cookie. The parameters which we separately passed previously for cookie string name, string value, here I am doing separately to change my cookie name and cookie value. So set name and set value, I made it here with these two methods. But remember, my dear students, these two methods is possible only before start of the session. Once the session is started, we can't do anything. There is no working things of set name and set values we had it. So that is the optional methods which we had, or I can say the methods, some of the useful methods we had, or concepts we had to get our cookies information. And now, other than this, I had some other method. What is that method? Is first public void add cookie, and cookie is CK. You know what is CK? CK is what? An object of your class. So method of HTTP servlet response interface to add cookie in the response object. As we taken your previously a diagram. In the diagram, what you have observed is the cookie is sent back with what object? With response object by your web server. So similarly, if you want to add any cookie, to your response object, so we need to use a method called as public void add cookie method. This method is going to be used to add the cookie in what object? Response. Every time there is a response only, because we are getting a cookie from your web server. Next, second method, public cookie get cookies, right? So whenever you want to make to return all the cookies from the browser, how many cookies I had in my browser, I need to know it, right? How I can know here? This method is used to return your cookies, and here I'm using an array. So because I don't know, the cookie may be 1 or 2 or 3, as a dynamically the size can be allocated to that. So that is why the size is empty. So what are cookies are available? If you want to get all the cookies information, then for that I need to use this method, and this method is taking the help of which object? Request. Why? Because I'm making a request to get back the things. So method of HTTP servlet request interface is used to return all the cookies from your browser. This is the methods we are having. One is to add, one is to set name, get name, and one is to get all the cookies. One is to set age of my cookie. Like this I had done. But how I need to create? How I need to create my cookie actually? I need to know first that one. So you know that it has been stored in your client in the form of cache memory, or it is stored in the cache memory, but with the help of your response object. But how we are going to call, or how we are going to create a cookie is just you are going to call what is that method is called cookie CK, you know, creating an object, right? Because as we told that the response object is going to take your cookie information to you, but you want to know the method. So you want to know that how we are going to take from your response. First I'm going to use my new thing. What is a new? Is a type of a keyword, I can say, right? So cookie CK is equivalent to new cookie. You have created a cookie, and what is the name of your cookie here? Name of my cookie is user. And what is the value of that cookie? Marwadi. As I told previously, a syntax. To create a cookie, cookie parenthesis, string name, string value. So string name is user, string value is Marwadi. So you're creating a cookie object has been created. And adding that cookie in the response. How we are going to do it? Response dot add cookie, and in that cookie what use your object. Which object you are going to add? Your cookie object will be added, and it can be given a response back to your client browser so that he can get back your information about your cookie. So this is how we are going to create our cookies. So once you want created a cookies, you want to delete it. So simply what I need to do, it is mainly when used to log out or sign out the user. It is mainly used to log out or sign out the user. If you log out or sign out from your browser, automatically your cookie will be deleted. As I told about your persistent cookie. But if you want to delete wantedly a cookie which you doesn't require when you are already logged in, so for this purpose, you need to call once again your object, that is CK. Cookie CK is equivalent to new cookie, right? Only you need to maintain what is your string name. Value automatically taking as what? Delete. So you know what is the value. Value is Marwadi previously we have. So immediately if you give in the empty quotations, automatically the value, deleting a value of cookie can be done. Name and value both we are defining, and automatically if you call like this, automatically it's going to be deleted. So similarly, so creating and deleting, you remember the two things. What is the difference we had? So for previously you have created user name and user value. For deleting, only we have done username. There is no value. You are making an empty. And automatically what I need to do, I need to set its maximum age or the age you are defining in the seconds. That age also you need to make 0. Why we need to 0 here? Because I removed the cookie. There is no matter of age. So I'm removing here. Then automatically after removal, you need to apply response.add cookie CKSO, adding once again the cookie in my response object. So previously, whatever the cookie is there, I have deleted and I need a response to my client system. Now, to get your cookies, right? To get all the cookies, previously I made it now to get all the cookies, name and its values. How we are going to do? As I'm saying all, I need to use more than one cookie maybe had. To get more than one cookie what I had, first of all, I need to make my object with the help of what? Array. And what is the syntax we are using? You are making a request, response. Response is storing, request is getting. So request dot get cookies we are going to make. And but as it is an array, I don't know what is the length of my array. So it's dynamically I have sized as empty parent, empty subscripts. So I'm calling for integer I is equivalent to 0. So till my ck dot length is less than my I value, I'm going to get all my cookies as well as its name. Everything can be written here like this. You're going to get cookie information about all, not a cookie, a single cookie information. It is about all the information about your cookies. Now, this is what I just made it as example of your demo. If I and try to enter some name and I click on go, so what happens here if I just enter and go, it moves to my web server to execute my servlet 1. Then it goes to welcome user. Then if I click once again my go button, then it moves to servlet 2. Then it says hello user. Hello user, it give a message. But what is happening here, as a request is coming from the client and sent to your servlet 1, then the sent to servlet 2, then I need to either, if this thing is happening, it's a first request actually. If we go for second request, automatically your cookie will be stored in the browser. It is storing or not, as we need to just find out. As we need to find out with my example program. So this is what we are doing in my example. This thing is going to be done. So before going to this example, is everything is clear to all of you? Some methods, or it may be interfaces, I can say. Is everything is clear, or any doubts you had as of now? Please let me know. If you don't have any queries, I can go with an example how your cookies will work over. So the same thing I will do. will show in my web browser also how the cookies are stored. I can open my browser and I can open my cookies and I can show the cookie which we are trying to access right now. First, let me know any doubts you had, any clarifications you had from your side. Please try to respond by everyone so that I can understand you got some points. So only 3 persons responded, Mr. Pratik and Hardik and Mamdhani. Sanjay, yeah. So hope there is no doubts from your side regarding these cookies, how it can be accessed, how it can be stored. Now, we will go to an example. So how we are going to create a cookie, everything, whatever the methods we have studied here, we try to use that methods in my example program, right? So before that, just give me a second time. So made it my net browser, and during this time, so I'll try to make my every cookie to be, or the cookies I will try to remove from my web browser. So as where I can find here, when I click my browser settings, if you try to open the browser settings, then you had cookies and other side data. Here I'm giving a message, cookies are allowed. Clearly I'm saying cookies are allowed, there is no problem. I'm giving a message, right? So now what I'm just making here, opening that cookies, what I had, and just if you make it as a block, your cookies will not be generated. You can just make block all cookies, it will not generate any cookies. So whatever the cookies you want to add, you can find out your cookies, see all cookies and site data. I can just make a click of it. Hope everyone can able to see the things which I am sharing with you, right? Just give me a second. Where we just move to our cookie settings, and here I have made a cookie. So I try to access something. At what time I made it accessing, just I want to open about that information here, I can say. So it's accessible to script? No, because it is using what protocol? HTTP only. And when I created yesterday, at what time? It's 9:30 night I created. And when it is expired, the same time it is expired because I immediately closed my browser. So it is, the domain is this one, and this is my content where I can add it. Like this, I can just find out this is my unique ID which I generated, and this is locally stored. And similarly, if I'm trying to use my Gmail account, accounts.google.com, it's also be locally stored. Just look at here, account username, and it is my content, and it is my domain, and it is HTTP created and expired. So immediately I logged out. Just similarly, you can find. This is similarly you can find everything I have made it, right? So it's expires at what year? 2023. It is giving as expiry date because my account can be expired maybe that time. So like this we can find. This is what, so it's a storage of your accessing of your Google database, or I can say the Gmail accounts like this. So here if you found the types of cookies, these are all cookies which I have made. So when yesterday I opened my Meet Google, right? So when I'm trying to meet your Google Meet created on so and so date and expires at so and so date. So what is the file system? Origin is this one, and this is my persistent storage. Because why is persistent storage? None are not done because I need to make the option as true or false. I will just show that also. So these are some of the examples of my cookies what I had it, right? So when you try to go for the example programs of my first, that is how to make your cookies. So these are all things which I have done yesterday night. So that is your session and URL rewriting, right? And the cookies for each one I made it one example. But as I don't want to see all these example, which one is required for us only, I need to have the cookies demo I need to present. So just I'm simply opening and I'm going to find out. So Servlet cookies example, I'm trying to opening that particular thing. So before going into enter into my code, just what is my web info I had, I'll try to find out. In my web info, I have defined my deployment descriptor. What deployment descriptor I have maintained, just look at here. What my deployment descriptor is saying, servlet name, the same thing what we had. Second servlet name. Here actually I need to use my alias name, XYZ something we can make it. So default it is created as a first servlet. You can use as your alias name, there is no problem, and you can make the server URL pattern of mapping of your two servlets. This is my deployment descriptor. Now coming into my Java, that is dot class file, dot first servlet dot Java. Just have a look at here. I need to import first these things. Why? Because I'm using what? My cookie. So I need to import java x.servlet.htp.cookie. So what is cookie here? Cookie is my class. I told already, right? So these are all using at your server side. That's why you're giving Java X. If you're having Java, here we can handle it client side. So first servlet, extend your HTTP servlet. This is what the base class and derived class we had. And this already you know it. I need to get a method called do method. You know what is a do and post, do get and do post method. With an example also, we have just seen the things, right? And up to this is a common for us. Up to this is a common everything. It defaultly this code will be generated. No need to generate from our side. Now what I'm just making here, look at here. So string name is what? My variable. String name, I'm requesting to get my parameter. What is the parameter here? The username. What the username is there, I need to get using my parameter. Then whatever the username I had, that username I'm going to make it as a welcome username, because plus name is added, so appending is the name here. So it will be name will be added as output, it can be shown. Now here my cookie starts. These two are my cookies. So wait, what I'm doing, I'm creating a new cookie, right? I'm creating a new cookie. And what is the cookie name here? Name is username. And what is the value? Whatever the value you have passed in your box, HTML box, that name will be taken as a value, and that is loaded at your server machine with what object? Response dot add cookie, and in the parenthesis we are going to give as ck, because ck is an object which we are adding. And then once it has been done, I am redirecting once again to my second servlet. There you have mentioned that form action to be, I need to move to my second servlet. Whenever I make a click on it, I am going to my second servlet. And what is that type of that servlet? Submit I'm going to maintain, right? What is the value of it? So name of that one is submit, and what is the value of it? Click here to see the cookie in the next request. You need to see what is your cookie. I can found in my second servlet. So just I'm clearly making here, I can found in my second servlet. So when I try to open my second servlet, so same thing here, up to this is a common thing, right? Now previously request I made it. Now what I'm making here, response to get writer. So this is also be done. Now I need to check out what are the cookies I had. What are the cookies I had? All cookies. I'm requesting to get all the cookies. For that purpose, you are using what? Cookie in the subscript ck is equal into request.cookie. So I got my cookie back. I need to display it, but how I can display? So if here is a one cookie only we are generating at this time. So ck0 get value. If you had a more than that, you can use your loop statement here to get your all cookies so that it can be get closed. So this is the code which we have used to generate your cookies and how you are going to store. Now, please try to make a clean and build your the things along with your server what we had. Now I am trying to execute it, running that particular thing. Have a look here. First, I need to get one. So my server is started, right? My Apache Tomcat has started to just generate. So my request is sending to my browser. So I'm asking to enter name. As I mentioned, name is my HTML page which I have generated. Please look at here. The TC3 Servlet cookie example. You can give any name. So whatever the name you want, you can just give in this, and you are asking to store the cookie. So, but that cookie will be stored or it will be redirected to the next one. Welcome as the name of your user, whatever you entered. Just look at here. You are making a question mark. First servlet question mark, and it is moved to first servlet. And what is the username you have given? The Marwadi. Why it is came? Because I am using do get method. Then here I am going to ask to click to see what is my cookie is generated. I need to retrieve the cookie also from my browser. For that purpose, I used a method also, get cookie. So if I click my generated hello Marwadi, we are going to get as my second submit. But as where is this cookie stored? I told this cookie is stored in my browser. So have just will try to check it my browser, either that cookie is generated or not. Open my browser and cookies and other data and just see all the cookies and data. And here I made it as a local request, right? Better what we'll do is we'll try to make all the cookies removed from here so that it can store our cookie when you try to run this program as your demo. So we'll try to remove all cookies. Clear all. So there is no cookies as of now. So we are going to start our that has been disconnected. So once again, just have a look at here. Just I made what all the cookies to be an empty. Now I'm once again clean and build, and I'm going to run my cookie. Once it has been run, you are going to enter some name and anything I'm giving as a phone number and then it's going to store hello so and so, right? So here I want to know. So just go for settings and go for your cookies wherever you're using and see your, oh sorry, no clearance. So see all cookies. So just now I try to open some apps, calendar and etc. Once I have logged out, so I generate this is the content I have given, right? You can see this content and what is the path of it. PC Cloud exam. So accessible script, yes. Created at what time? So today, 8:24:39. Expires when browser session ends. Because when browser session ends, it's going to be expired. So like this, your information can be stored over your browser, and this is known as this is a mechanism which we known as what? Cookies. So hope everyone understands of how your session tracking can take in place from browser to server and server to client, and where it is storing is clearly we have seen it can be stored in your cache memory. So here, if you have any clarifications, just you can ask me. Dear students, if you have any clarification, if everything is clear and any clarification is needed, please let me know in the chat box. Everyone. If there is no clarifications, please, you can post your attendance in the chat box. You don't have any clarifications. And those who have posted, just they can leave the meeting. Yes, please do it fast. Otherwise, I'm going to end the session. Those who are not yet posted their attendance in the chat box, please do post fastly so that we can end our session.